Hi, I'm Betty. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to share with you a very old family recipe for Sicilian type meatballs. Here are my ingredients. I have 1.25 pounds of beef, pork, and veal. You may find it packaged as meatloaf mix. If your grocery store doesn't have this, just ask the butcher for essentially equal proportions of beef, pork, and veal. I've got 2 peeled garlic cloves. I have a cup of Italian flavored breadcrumbs, about a 1/2 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, about a 1/2 cup of freshly chopped parsley, and I've got 4 eggs here, which I've beaten slightly. And all I'm going to do is mix these together. I'll break up the meat a little bit first. And then add my eggs. And I'm just going to add in the other ingredients. The parsley and the cheese. Give that a little mix. You don't want to mash this, just keep tossing it. It'll break up as you go. Now I'm going to grate in the garlic. I like to grate this because no one really wants to get a big lump of garlic in the middle of a meatball. So we'll just grate these quickly. Also, this is faster than chopping. And it's easier to clean than using a garlic press. Just make sure I get all of that. Now I'll add my breadcrumbs. This looks as though it's going to be just about right. Now that I've mixed all the ingredients for the meatballs, I'll start forming them. And to do that, I'll constantly be rinsing my hands under cold water. By doing that, the mixture won't stick to my hands. Now when you form these, you roll them lightly. You don't compress them. A little more for that one. And this is the size I like to use. You can also make these very tiny to use as a cocktail hors d'oeuvre. And if you do that, instead of frying them in a pan, you simply put them on a baking sheet and bake them in the oven at about 375 for about 10-15 minutes until they're brown. I've finished forming the meatballs, and as you can see, I've got 21 of them here. Obviously, the number is going to vary by the size you make them. I've preheated my pot. A trick to frying is to have your fry pan hot, or whichever pot you're using, and then add your oil. That way, your food won't stick. I don't care to use a non-stick pan for this. And now I'm going to start adding the meatballs, and you can hear they sizzle right away. Cook about a 1/2 dozen at a time. These have started to brown, and I'm going to turn them. And as you can see, they're not sticking at all. My meatballs have browned on all sides, and I'm transferring them to a bowl. It's the same bowl I had mixed them in, which I've washed, because you never transfer cooked meat to a container that has held raw meat. And you can see in the pan, nothing is sticking. And I'll continue frying the rest. Here are the meatballs after they've been cooked in the sauce. Of course, if you prefer, you can simply brown them in the pot, transfer them to a rimmed baking sheet, and cook them in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes.